James Kaufman, World News Report today, September 8th, 2024. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have two named lows. Invest 91L here in the Gulf of Mexico with a 90% chance of formation, and Invest 92L here in the Atlantic with a 70% chance of formation. Invest 91L appears to be headed towards the Texas or Louisiana Gulf Coast, and again it has a 90% chance of becoming a tropical cyclone at this point. We have a third tropical disturbance following Invest 92L, and they're giving that a 50% chance of formation. I would like to say that I will show you spaghetti models on both Invest 91L and Invest 92L, but Invest 92L is now taking a more southerly track than they had thought it would yesterday. Let's get a look at these storms. It looks like it's going to be a rough week for the Gulf Coast and maybe even the East Coast of the United States. We'll start out with the last 2 hours of Invest 91L, a named low, coming off of the Mexican coast here, and it appears to be spinning the wrong way. A low pressure should be spinning counterclockwise. This does seem to have picked up the moisture that was hanging out just off the coast of Texas and Louisiana. And I mentioned yesterday, if it did so, this could become a super storm of sorts. Now, we'll show you the spaghetti models taking it into Texas and or Louisiana this week, within the next couple of days, actually. And we don't want any more here in the Houston area. Again, this is Invest 91L, a named low, and all the models are starting to agree here, taking it into, well, Louisiana, perhaps Texas or the Texas-Louisiana border area, maybe even further east into central Louisiana. So we're starting to see all the spaghetti models agree, and we're talking about 3 or 4 days off, but we should start seeing the outer rings of the system within a day or two. Now it looks like it's going to hug the Texas coast and make landfall in Louisiana. That would be horrific for the Texas coast and Louisiana. We've been experiencing rain for the last week or so because of the system that was just offshore. Again, this system looks like it's picking up that moisture as well. Now let's take a look at an enhanced satellite for Invest 92L. The second named low by the National Hurricane Center. Currently, it has a 70% chance of formation, although it's moving due west. This will take it into the Lesser Antilles and much warmer water, where it's most certainly going to become a tropical cyclone of sorts. We also have right behind that the other disturbance. You can see here clearly. That one only has a 40% chance. It has not been named as a low yet, and there are no spaghetti models. However, Invest 92L does have spaghetti models that we're going to take a look at. Again, this thing looks like it's headed into the Caribbean currently. The first spaghetti models of Invest 92L were released just 29 minutes ago, and it looks like most of them are taking it further north. This could be something to watch out for if you're living on the east coast of the U.S. if it continues in this direction. And all the spaghetti models are already agreeing. Now, we hope that this heads north and misses the U.S. East Coast, but currently it looks like it's headed into the U.S. East Coast. Now, we all know how warm the waters are in the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. They have some of the temperatures blocked here. I'm not quite sure why. But these are the water temperatures, and as it moves into these warmer waters, i.e. the Lesser Antilles, into the Bahamas, into the Gulf of Mexico for Invest 91L. This is going to be, well, something that enhances both these storms tremendously over the next 24 hours. So again, this is a warning for the Texas Gulf Coast, Louisiana Gulf Coast, perhaps the Mississippi Gulf Coast. We have a system with a 90% chance of formation inbound for the Texas-Louisiana border or perhaps central Louisiana, and it could skirt the coast of Texas, bringing heavy rains. They're not needed, and it could impact as a very strong hurricane based on the water temperatures in this area. We have Invest 92L out in the Atlantic being followed by another disturbance. Invest 92L looks like it's going in towards the Bahamas, and this is a warning for the East Coast. It does look like it wants to turn north a bit. It has a 70% chance of formation currently, but by tomorrow, the next day, I'm fairly certain that it's going to become a tropical system or cyclone of some sort when it meets the warmer waters in the Caribbean. So, the entire eastern seaboard should be prepared for an impact. At this point, it's going to be very hard to determine where exactly it's headed. I'm guessing it's going to take a slight turn to the north and impact the central part of the U.S. East Coast at some point later in the week. With that said, God bless you and yours, folks. It's getting hairy out there. I would also guess that the third disturbance following Invest 92L in the Atlantic might also have a very good chance of becoming a cyclone. However, that one looks like it's even turning north more so than Invest 92L and may miss the United States completely. With that said, a warning for the Texas Gulf Coast, Louisiana Gulf Coast, Mississippi Gulf Coast currently, and the entire eastern seaboard. We should all stay prepared, be prepared. We all need to have a full tank of gas. We all need to have extra water in the house. And if you're living on the coast itself, you need to watch these storms very closely and evacuate if they look like they could intensify. Again, folks, we had one of these hit the Woodlands, Texas just last month, and it turned out to be a 5-day nightmare without electricity. I don't think anyone can imagine 102-degree weather without electricity for 5 straight days. Stay prepared, and please evacuate if the storm's headed towards your location and you're living on the coast. Please share, subscribe, and always remember that anything's possible in Bizarro World.